What you got?
So I'm sure you've seen like in the news a couple times, and I think we even talked about it with cancel culture and just different stuff. How do you feel about people social media getting them fired?
Some things on social media don't need to be up there. I'm gonna say that first, because people have a bad habit of putting every single blow by blow, play by play
Mm-hmm.
situation that's really going on in their life. Social media is just what that is. It's fucking social, and so you can see what's going on in the world. You can see what's going on with people you ain't seen in a while, and
Sure.
have fun with it. But when you're starting to put too much of your personal life in there, of
Mm-hmm.
course that's going to affect your personal life.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't have a personal life, but you got to separate the two. You can't
Yeah.
just sit there on social media after okay. For example, you're a pastor,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I'm saying. You're preaching the word. You're preaching the word. You're preaching the word. But then you got a post on fucking Facebook with some chicks twerking. You like, damn, look at that ass or something. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't do that. You could be like, damn, look at that ass in private. You ain't got to put everything on social media. That's just like the Paul Pierce thing. Now with the Paul Pierce thing,
Yeah.
should he? I mean, it wasn't too explicit in my opinion to the point where he should be fired. Because I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
seen it or not, but I mean, he was smoking marijuana. Where marijuana is legal.
Yeah. I saw that. I mean, I saw the video. I mean, for
Yeah,
those that didn't, go ahead and kind of describe what was in the
and
video.
number two, he may or may not had strippers back there. I mean, they wasn't nobody naked. There might have been some twerking going on. I seen one video where a chick did this shit and her stuff was jumping up and down. But everything was covered. It was still kind
Mm-hmm.
of, it was classy. He just had a blunt in his hand, had chicks around him. How many times have you seen that everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
And they fired him for it. I don't agree with that.
Well, so what's
Um,
so crazy is I thought I heard somewhere where they said that they fired him because it came from his page. Now, if somebody who was there would have posted it live on their page,
mhm.
they would have been okay with it. And
I
they
don't.
say like the viewer count was real small too.
Damn.
I
But
think they say it got
damn.
more views after the fact than it got live, man. So damn.
But even still, I don't agree. If it's his personal account, that's his personal account. I see if he had like a business ESPN page account or some shit like
Sure,
that, and he was
sure.
posting the shit on. That's different. That's fucking with your professional life. But
Hmm.
your private life, if you want to post, hey, I'm living my life, I'm having a good time, rah 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 rah. You have every right to do that without having to lose your job. Especially when it's not like it's fucking ESPN. It's not like the motherfucker worked for the CIA or some shit. I mean, come the fuck on.
Right, right, right.
Like they just looking for shit to nitpick about. What else in social media? That well, he ain't necessarily fired, but it's all over social media. The whole Deshaun Watson thing that's going on. Um, we mentioned her on another episode. The what was that magazine? The 17-year-old for something she said before or something like that.
Oh, it
Whatever.
was Teen Vogue
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
yeah, she was 17 and she got called she made some Asian related remarks. But
Right.
then what they also reporting is that the main person who's reporting her has posts that they found where she was dropping the N-bomb.
Mm,
And they ain't dropped her yet, but that's another
right.
story for another day.
And speaking of dropping people, what's his name? The football player from Seahawks, something Weber or some shit, who beat up his black girlfriend, and
Yeah,
that shit
man.
got all over
Yeah.
social media. I bet that
Yeah.
motherfucker still play for the Seahawks. While fucking Colin Kaepernick took a fucking knee and they pretty much blackballed his ass. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man, what the fuck? And you see how they trying to drag Deshaun Watson because he wants to go to a new fucking team. That's basically where all that shit came from. After he wants to leave the team,
That
all
is
these
kind of
allegations
interesting.
came.
Is that kind of came timing is a bitch,
Yeah,
and so that is kind of interesting. I mean, whether he did it or not, that's not my place to judge. But
mm-mm.
when
Nope,
you're
not at
looking
all.
at awfully convenient.
Yeah,
But go on.
exactly. And it's just, I mean, there's several other cases. I haven't really had time to look up all of them, but there's been other anchors
You
from,
won't have time.
yeah, other anchors of melanin skin that's been fired from these big networks and stuff for the minorest fucking infractions. Man, it is fucking ridiculous. While our counterparts can fucking get drunk, say the N word, fight, go to jail, come out, slap their wife, stab somebody in the fucking foot, and then they're back on fucking TV the next day, like, hi, this is John Johnson. No, motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Not
John
really.
Johnson.
I just threw it out there, man.
No.
But yeah, man. So that's really what I think about it, man. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. but at the same time, you still got to learn to separate your personal shit from your professional shit. Because in our
Right.
profession, we can't just post any fucking thing we want to. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
can, but it's like the comedian Joe Coy said on the Breakfast Club. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. You just got to take responsibility for what the fuck
Mm-hmm.
you say.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not willing to take responsibility for what you say, then don't fucking do it.
Right.
Just like on here, all the fuckings and your some of my bitch and all the other stuff. Y'all can have a call. Y'all can call me offline right now, and I'll be like, yeah, they was, yeah, that motherfucker was a some of my bitch because he was a some of my bitch. You know me, man. Everybody that out
Yeah.
here know me personally. I already know no fucks are given. If I said it, goddamn it, I meant it. But
Right.
with that being said, bro, what do you think?
So I'm not gonna touch the racial side of it
Okay,
because there's definitely that too. But
we'll be here
so
all day.
yeah, we would. But just thinking about it, I mean, I personally think it should be a time horizon on it, and we should look at one, how old you were when the thing came out.
Mm-hmm.
Two, what it was, and then three, what have you done either on either side of what you've said?
Right.
Because I mean, like, if we've all said some stupid shit as kids.
Of course.
I mean, if you're like, if they pull up some shit when you're 15, 16, 17, I don't feel like, regardless of what you said, unless you threaten bodily harm on somebody and you've done it, then I don't think that we should be held accountable for our stupid teenage self.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you said some shit yesterday, then you got to be a little more careful.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be an instant fire. I mean, I think there should be some. I mean, and there may or may not be, but there may be some standard code of conduct rules that all parties involved know that 10 years from your hire date we won't look at, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, unless it falls on. I mean, if you want some murder, death, kill shit, then okay, we need to talk about that a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. That's a little different. But if you say some stupid shit or some shit that's not culturally appropriate at the current time,
Yeah.
I mean, because I remember being back in school, like, I mean, you can't. I mean, like, I remember even some of the Asian kids that I was good at math, so some of those that we would all kind of work together and stuff, and I mean, they would make jokes, and it's like, if I were to make them jokes now, or somebody else made some of the jokes that they told, then, oh, you'd be fired, you'd be
Yep.
a bigot. But I'm
Yep.
16, 17. I mean, it's crazy, but I mean, I think you have to be careful what you say. Um, you have to also be careful. Think about your job. I mean, if your job, if you're the face of a particular organization or something like that, then you have to be careful of what you say. But the shit that kills me is like they'll catch somebody saying like some racist shit or some shit like that, and they'll get on the next day and apologize, and they'll say, "Oh, that's not me. That's not who I am as a
But you just
person."
did this shit on
You
Tuesday.
a
It's
fucking
Thursday now.
lie,
Get the fuck
right? That's the thing that kills me, man. Is don't lie. I mean, I think I would respect the people more if they own up to it. Yeah, I said it. It may not have been the most PC thing to say, but I said it. I mean,
Yep.
I respect that more than the I'm so sorry. I didn't know
Right.
that the words that I said were so offensive, or that's not who I am, and such knows me. And no, get the hell out
So
there with that shit.
that now that you mentioned all that, somebody that comes to mind, it's over with and it's old now, but when Nick Cannon got in trouble for his words on his own podcast,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about that? You think it was too much, or you think that was an instance where you really should have paid attention to your surroundings who you were talking to, what you were saying?
So here's the thing. And that one's kind of nuanced for me. Is I think it's important to be able to control your message
Mm-hmm.
and be able to say what you want to say in certain avenues
Right.
without fear of backlash. In his particular case, he wasn't in that position to say every. I mean, it's no. And in that particular case, it's no different than you or I
Mm-hmm.
saying saying certain things, given our line of work. So you have to be mindful of that. Um, it's kind of one of those things. I mean, there may have been some truth to it. There may not have been. Um,
Now he said what he said.
no, he did, and yeah, I mean, I think it's and not to go in. I think it's who he said things about.
Ooh, and sometimes, and I have a what I think with that particular case in itself is sometimes you feed off that person's energy that you're
Sure,
talking to
yeah,
also. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get a little too comfortable and forget where the fuck you at because the energy of that other person. Then you might slip up and like, oh shit, whoops.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, it's kind of just like Kevin Hart with the Oscars.
Yeah.
I mean, same kind of thing. I mean, was the shit right? I mean, but again, not defending him or taking sides either way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one of those things that were said isn't culturally appropriate now. Some people would argue, is it ever culturally appropriate?
Right.
I mean, but we're so quick to jump on somebody, the words out of their mouth and not
Mm-hmm.
give a damn about their character. I mean, I could be the nicest, say the sweetest shit on social media. I love everybody and, puppies and unicorns and flowers and happy shit.
That's what
I
your
mean,
man cave gonna look like, ain't
it might, man. It's gonna be fresh as hell, dope as fuck. But on the inside, or if you see me in person, that ain't who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just say be true to who you are. I mean, if you're a racist asshole, be true to who you are, so I know where I stand with you.
Yeah.
And I know how to deal with you accordingly.
Like, oh, you racist? Yeah, fuck you.
Right.
Keep it moving. You get
right.
you have a good old day, racy boy. Racy girl. You go ahead. Be racy all by your racy self.